Do you think parenting has changed since you started in education?
Absolutely.
Can you just speak to that somewhat?
Well, I think that
without naming names.
Sure. Well, I will not name any names.
Yeah.
Parenting has definitely changed. The first thing is that I have I'm seeing a younger cohort of parents. When I first started in education, parents that I was seeing were my age with with kids, and I see a much younger cohort in terms of the parents. And I think that plays also into the role of society and the media and those kinds of things. There's more protection. I see a lot more protectionism. I think that the parents that I encounter a lot of times are scared to let their kids fail. I think about growing up, and my mother was always like, if you fail, there are consequences, and you learn from those consequences, and you pick yourself up. There's a lot more sheltering that comes with some of the parenting that I've seen, and they want their kids to be successful, but sometimes being successful means letting them fail and letting them fall and letting them get up. And parents that I work with, they're so concerned about whether this little incident or this little thing will stop their child from being successful, that they lose that ability, that resilience, if you will. And that's one of the biggest pieces that I've seen in terms of parenting since I started, almost 20 years ago to now.
Now, this is another question that could be interpreted as hardball, and it's an offshoot of parenting, is why I bring it up next. The B word, bullying. Has it always been there, and we just haven't? Focused on it? Is it a part of the rite of passage? I know this is a very sensitive subject that any way you answered or how I address it's going to could be misconstrued.
Well, you know what? I honestly believe it's always been there. I think it's exacerbated now. I think technology has moved bullying to closer to a form of harassment, and really moved it out of the realm of just kids being kids to something that is much more detrimental to the health and well-being of children. I mean, so when you think of bullying, when I was growing up, it was like, someone, pushed you in the hall or, did something. And now, someone has something on the internet that lives forever talking about you or posting pictures and those kinds of things. It has really changed. And part of that change, I think, has happened because the world is changing so fast, and parenting hasn't necessarily caught up with all the things that our kids know. I think of my 3- and 4-year-old, and they will never grow up in a world where touch technology didn't exist. And so, how then, as parents, do we help them navigate all of the the things that are happening along that? And so, I think bullying has been intensified primarily based on the technology and the things that kids have available to them nowadays, and it has changed tremendously, and it's a serious problem across the United States because it has become deadly. You didn't hear so much at least when I was growing up, where bullying actually caused kids to take their lives or caused kids to do something so harmful and detrimental to other kids that it impacted them for the rest of their lives. So I think it has gotten worse, and I think that schools have to do a better job of understanding that it's gotten worse and then working hard to curb it.
I appreciate you being forthright on that subject.